On December 2nd, 2025, Ukrainian forces continued targeting Russian soldiers on the front line with FPV drones. Many Russian troops attempted to flee, but each of them was struck at the most unexpected moment, showing once again that there is no escape from Ukraine's relentless drone operations on the battlefield. A Russian soldier encountered an FPV drone at the entrance to his hiding place, but tried to escape, thinking the drone would not explode. However, he was unable to escape. The drone was remotely detonated before it had time to take off. A Russian soldier walking across open terrain in the Pokrovsk area was detected by a Ukrainian FPV drone and quickly became its target. A Russian soldier attempting to cross the border in the Vovchansk area was detected by an FPV drone from Ukraine's 414th Unmanned Strike Aviation Brigade. Realizing the drone was approaching, the soldier panicked and crouched down, unsure of what to do. The FPV drone quickly fixed his position and moved in to strike directly. A Russian soldier walking alone in the Donetsk region was detected by Ukrainian FPV drones. The drone quickly descended toward the soldier, triggering a long chase. With no weapons or equipment on him, the soldier had no place to hide in the open terrain. The Ukrainian drone operator continued to track him with precise maneuvers, maintaining pressure. When the soldier panicked and fell to the ground, the drone locked onto him directly, leaving him no chance to escape. A Ukrainian FPV drone entered an abandoned building in search of Russian soldiers. At that moment, a Russian soldier trying to exit the structure was immediately targeted by the drone. In the Kherson region, a Ukrainian kamikaze drone began searching for targets along a key Russian logistics route. Ukrainian forces regularly monitor key logistics routes, as these areas allow them to inflict continuous losses on Russian units. Persistent drone surveillance and rapid response strikes disrupt troop movements, supply runs, and rotations, making every journey along these routes increasingly risky for Russian forces. It quickly detected a lone Russian soldier moving across open terrain. The drone accelerated toward him, and by the time the soldier noticed the incoming threat from behind, he no longer had enough time to react. A Russian infantry fighting vehicle was detected while bringing reinforcements to the Zaporizhzhia sector. As Russian troops gathered around their newly prepared trench positions, they immediately came under Ukrainian artillery fire. Using fragmentation shells, Ukrainian forces launched repeated strikes on the area, hitting the Russian soldiers just as they were attempting to settle into their positions. Approximately 13 Russian soldiers were lost in the artillery attack. So, in your opinion, why did Russian forces launch an attack without taking continuous air defense measures? Ukrainian forces from the 63rd Separate Mechanized Brigade carried out a targeted operation against Russian troops in the Kupiansk sector. FPV drones launched continuous strikes deep inside the forested defensive lines, disrupting Russian movements and preventing them from strengthening their positions. In the aftermath, Russian infantry once again demonstrated how vulnerable they are to modern drone warfare. Despite taking cover in trenches and tree lines, they were unable to stop the incoming FPV drones. Every attempt to hide, disperse, or return fire proved ineffective, highlighting the growing imbalance on the battlefield where Ukrainian drone operators maintain full control from the sky. Ukrainian FPV drones this time targeted Russian soldiers moving on motorcycles. Ukrainian Signum Battalion continued its operations in the Lyman area, pursuing Russian infantry and military vehicles. Russian attempts to establish new defensive positions were repeatedly disrupted by Ukraine's fiber optic reconnaissance and strike drones. Most of the strikes targeted infantry. Soldiers trying to hide in the forest were detected one by one, and became targets for precision drone attacks. Rare Russian bridge-laying equipment was destroyed by the Ukrainian 3rd Battalion Svoboda of the 4th Operational Brigade, Rubizh, on the Eastern Front. Once again, Russian soldiers are detected and targeted by Ukraine's FPV drones. No matter how often Russian infantry try to run or take cover, there is simply nowhere to hide from drones on the modern front line. The moment movement is spotted, FPV units quickly lock onto the target and strike with precision. In this operation, fighters from the 93rd Separate Mechanized Brigade Kholodny Yar and the 22nd Separate Mechanized Brigade coordinated their efforts, tracking Russian infantry in open terrain before launching a series of accurate FPV attacks. These strikes highlight how Ukrainian drone teams maintain constant pressure on Russian positions, leaving advancing units with few chances to escape. Returning from a mission, a Ukrainian copter UAV captures the moment its former positions come under fire from a Grad rocket system. Based on the pilot's radio exchanges, it remains unclear who exactly is carrying out the strike. During the retreat, Russian positions were bombed. Russian infantry were caught off guard by AASM Hammer bombs dropped by Ukrainian MiG-29s, north direction. Following the attack, Russian soldiers were seen entering underground trenches by drones. A group of rapid response fighters from the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade entered one of the most active frontline areas and began clearing buildings and basements of Russian forces. Working alongside experienced assault troops and several foreign volunteers, they carried out a swift raid, locating Russian personnel in hidden positions and neutralizing them. Their coordinated movement through the settlement demonstrates how assault units secure key locations during ongoing urban combat in the Novoselivka area of the Donetsk region. A Russian BM-21 Grad M LRS, positioned in the village of Malinivka in the Donetsk region, was detected while attacking Ukrainian defensive positions. The drone tracking the vehicle moved in for the strike and dropped an aerial munition on the launcher. With just a single hit, the rocket system, along with its ammunition, was neutralized in a massive explosion. Russian forces continue leaving their military vehicles exposed to drone attacks. Ukrainian units take advantage of this repeated mistake, infiltrating the area with fiber optic drones or kamikaze drones to disable these vehicles. Even in the 3rd year of the war, Russian forces still have not developed an effective defense against Ukraine's UAV strikes. Signal jamming has no effect on fiber optic drones, allowing them to operate freely in contested zones. Do you think Russia can provide adequate defense against drone attacks? Ukrainian Cursed Empire units from the 100th Motorized Rifle Brigade targeted several Russian vehicles in the Kostiantynivka direction of Donetsk Oblast. Their operations disabled 5 cars, including a Bukanka van, a buggy, 2 motorcycles with riders, a truck, and an additional motorcycle. These coordinated strikes further disrupted Russian mobility and logistics in the area. Ukrainian operators continued to monitor the area, identifying new movement routes and adapting their drone paths in real time. These steady precision strikes show how quickly Russian transport assets can be neutralized when operating close to the front line. An explosive is dropped from an unmanned aerial vehicle onto a Russian soldier sleeping under a tree. Ukrainian air defense units achieved a significant success last night by shooting down 2 Russian Shahed-type jet-powered unmanned aerial vehicles. The unmanned aerial vehicles were shot down by skilled operators of the Bielotsakiv Air Defense Missile Regiment. As the conflict moves deeper into its 3rd year, the situation on the front line remains intense and highly dynamic. Both Ukrainian and Russian forces continue to rely heavily on drones, artillery, and precision strikes, turning the battlefield into a constantly shifting environment where mobility and adaptation define survival. The war has become a test of endurance, a prolonged struggle shaped by technology, logistics, and daily tactical engagements. Every week brings new footage from the front, revealing how quickly battlefield tactics are evolving and how critical unmanned systems have become in both reconnaissance and strike operations.